I hope you can get to hear the music in the background. Is being supplied by the supporters of Dolphins Football Club. Trains playing some traditional riverine music here. Such music made popular by the likes of Rexton Lawson and January. And there's so many of them from this part of the country that have provided great high-life music. But it's substitution time, the first in this game, or the first pair in this game as it looks.
Coming just 4 minutes into the second half, you would think the standing chief coach of Crown, Daniel Ogumodede, has seen enough. He needs to add some attacking quality into his side. And Tunde Daniel is the player who is coming up, and he will take the place, surprisingly, of captain Leko Agunloye. But if you have to really say the truth, Agunloye himself would know that he has been below par. We can also see Onyekachi Okafor, ex-Heartland forward player. He is also going in, and well, none of these players will really feel hard done by being substituted, because none has really been above average in the first half or in the first 15 minutes of this encounter. So it's the former junior international Oliha Aibe, who was just a couple of minutes ago elbowed in the back by Edward. He goes up to take a rest, and the ex-Heartland man Onyekachi Okafor will take his place. These are two forward players, and that means midfielder and defensive midfielder off, and two attacking midfielders on. It does seem they believe with the score at 1-0, maybe they can just snatch something. Positive changes, it has to be said.
That was extremely unlucky. Great pass through, and it's a pass that could have resulted in something. But, well, I think the referee is indicating he was offside. And so even if he had latched onto that ball, it wouldn't have counted, as Dolphins start counter-attacking now. The referee says it's a free kick, even though there was no contact there. The intention was enough for him. And Dolphins relieved of that ball. The referee says play on, and then changes his mind and decides it's a Crown free kick. Although Poku doesn't seem to see why that free kick should be awarded against his side. But there's the tackle, and there's your reason. So Shehu Musa, the center referee, again getting it spot on there. Four of the four teams promoted this season from the National League, Abia Warriors would seem to be doing massively better than all the others. Abia Warriors currently second on the log after Kano Pillars, just a point behind Pillars, the defending champions. Next after Abia Warriors amongst the newcomers would be Giwa FC, who are on 32 points, and then Giwa FC followed by Taraba FC on 31 points. Crown would seem to be rocking the bottom among the promoted sides with just 22 points that leave them 19th on the 20-team log.
It doesn't seem to be getting any better, because here they've been totally outplayed. In fact, it's a really shocking surprise that Dolphins are just only a goal to the good. And that's one thing that has to be said about Dolphins, really. As good as they have been in parts this season, they really don't score many.
Good movement of the ball there. And, well, you could see how easily and then Edward gave up. I did say it earlier, he's not pacey at all. and anything that involves running seems to leave him winded in very short order. He just couldn't keep up with the flight of that ball and let it go into touch. But it's Crown coming back again now, forward, looking to pull that one goal back and put themselves on even keel with their hosts. Benson Omodoku proving to be some sort of rock of Gibraltar in the defense for Crown. They had an opportunity there but let that ball away. It's Edward that started that counter-attack. Dolphins, they move the ball so well with great assurance, but they would seem to lack that attacking zeal just yet. They seem to be content to sit on their one goal and a poor pass. Again, Dolphins guilty of giving the ball away at the most inopportune times. They come forward again, Chizoba Mefule. Ifeanyi Egwima, the flag stays down. I think the ball curved in from the outside, and that's what the referee has blown for.
Oliver Medwalk again finding his rhythm in this second half, but it's really been a bit tepid in the early part of the second half. We've seen 11 minutes of the second half gone, just into the 12th, but nothing to really speak about in terms of clear scoring opportunities. Dolphins wouldn't mind one bit. They've got the lead, but a one-goal lead is still a one-goal lead. A slip up and we're all square. But Crown doesn't look like the team that is interested in causing the type of slip-ups I'm talking about. And you can see where we still are, just 3 minutes shy of the hour mark. Still that Edward effort after 24 minutes separating both sides.
It's been 33 minutes since that first goal was scored, and we're still waiting for a second from either side. And with their potential and their command in this game, you would expect that that second goal would have come from Dolphins. It hasn't yet happened, and the Crown would seem to be encouraged by that. Come forward again, but one thing you can say for Dolphins is that when the defense en masse, and even while the Crown are trying to counter-attack, the Dolphins players retreat so quickly that when you look, you see a surprising number of blue shirts back in their own half and doing battle to contain the not quite rampaging Crown Football Club of Ogbomosho.
Watching Dolphins play, in fact, since they scored, would seem to let you into why the likes of Canopilas and Enyimba have in recent times been the winners of the league, because they seem to manage to keep the pressure up for 90 minutes. They seem to score more goals in their games. They seem able to kill off teams like Crown that just a little bit more easily than the likes of Dolphins. I mean, there's no reason why they can't win this game by 3 or 4 goals. They've really had it all, you know, going in their way.
You could hear the roar in the background. It's so easy for home fans not to disagree with officiating. And again, it points in the direction of Dolphins. Another throw in. That's to the advantage of Crown. Well, the game is gradually, slowly, but steadily beginning to look quite pedestrian. And thanks in large measure to Crown. They've not really done enough to spark up this game and give it the kind of vivacity you would expect. It is a game that has at times dragged rather slowly and rather tepidly. You would expect that there will be more vibrancy to this game, and there could be if Crown were to up their act even slightly. They seem to lack the self-confidence to go forward when they should, and the dilly-dally when they should not. And the flag goes up there. Cuts in the act. Yomi Olaoke, the assistant referee, did not hesitate for a second there.
The experience of Oloa and Ezurike coming through. Soon as they saw the man, his eyes were fixed on the incoming ball. They stepped up, and of course, you know what that leads to: an offside call and a free kick. Up north is still Academy Warriors nil, FC Taraba nil.
The pair of Emmanuel Olowo and Victor Ezurike marshalling the defense of Dolphins. And the two men built like tanks, you must say. They look big and fit, and like men that will brook no nonsense. So the more slightly built attackers of Crown, I'm sure, do approach them with some, with a considerable measure of trepidation and respect.
That's EMEKA ATULOMA clipping the foot of Giwa Ahmed, ATULOMA ex-Abia Warriors player, really turning himself into a fan's favorite here. I think Hamid's pain was worsened by landing with his shins on the ball. And we really do hope the second game, Sharks against Heartland, on paper looks like the better game, and we do hope it's a better one than this.
The ball intended for Okpoku, but he couldn't get to that ball early enough. Ebube Okpoku. He cannot get to the ball soon enough. It's going to be a Crown throw. We're halfway through the second half. It's still 1-0 in favor of Dolphins. The home side controlling the game rather easily. And the visitors not looking very much inspired at the moment.
That's EMEKA ATULOMA again. You know what? When you don't play well, you encourage your opponents. This is not the Dolphins of the first half. All of a sudden, passes are going astray. Men are outrunning the ball, or passes being put in behind them. Crown all of a sudden doing better than they were. But how about this for taking someone out of the equation? Ifeanyi Ogwim again. He attracts a lot of fouls. That wouldn't have counted because of Boku knew he was in an offside position, and no protest of any sort from he or any of his teammates. But you can see the offside call racking up 9 of them at the moment, 3 to Dolphins and 6 to the visitors.
Which I also think points to the inexperience of the visitors and the vast experience of the fullbacks for Dolphins. They know when to step away and keep the men offside, especially that man, Emmanuel Olowo has done it and done it over and over again, and that's why the difference in offside counts here.
Well, a lot of analysts really did think that
well, for some reason, Kelechi kept quiet there. I think he expects a goal to come from this, and it's one that flies in very well. But one of the tallest goalkeepers in the Nigerian Globe Premier League is Sunday Rotimi. He had no problem plucking that one high above the heads of all the people in the box there. He's a very tall man, and he puts that height to good use.
Absolutely. I was just trying to say that a lot of analysts did think that Olowo's career was in its twilight when he left Heartland last season to join Sunshine Stars, but he spent just 6 months there and found his way to Dolphins, and here he seems to be a player reborn.
Indeed, Emmanuel Olowo. Oh, what a shot that was, and it was a very experienced Sunday Rotimi that covered his angles very well, narrowed it down and made sure that he stood between that strike and his goal. Oh, great pass there. Well done, sir. Well finished there. Absolutely fantastic there. That's the goal television montage is made of. That was a very, very experienced, exquisite finish from Ifeanyi Egwim, and he did it so wonderfully, so professionally. Nothing at all Michael Uweru could do about that. Oh, what a goal.
And he couldn't even celebrate. I think he was injured a little bit in that clash with Uweru, but what a finish. Just dinked it over the top of the goalkeeper into the center of goal. But again, just like in the first goal, what a defense-splitting pass. It was fabulous. You can see Okpoku, he simply just bettered his time and just rolled it lazily into the path of Egwim. You can see he landed awkwardly. But how about that for a take? And look at that finish. It's just brilliant in its simplicity. Fantastic goal. Dolphins 2, Crown 0, and well, Crown have had this coming.
Well, that would seem to have done it for Dolphins, and that may well be that as far as Crown are concerned here, because considering the dominance of Dolphins and looking at the scoreline there, you have Edwok and Ifeanyi Egwim. They seem to have got this wrapped up completely for the home side. It is 2-0. Well, the drumming continues here. And, well, I have a feeling, Kelechi, that if this had not been a goal, the goalkeeper may well have received his marching orders.
I think it's better for Crown that he stays on, because the way Dolphins are playing at the moment, if he had been sent off, well, it could have been 3 or 4. It might still be, though, even with him staying on. But Uweru, nothing he could have done about that. It was just a cheeky lob, a touch of class from a class player. And he extends his scoring run for the season, top scorer for Dolphins. Right, and unfortunately, that will be the last act of Ifeanyi Egwim, and Isiaka Olawale replaces him. Olawale, formerly of Kwara United, and a player who became very popular as captain of Nigeria's beach football team, that's attended 3 World Cups. So you can see confirmation of that substitution. Isiaka Olawale taking the place of second goal scorer for Dolphins, Ifeanyi Egwim.
Ifeanyi Egwim receiving attention there, even while play continues on the pitch. Isiaka Olawale, he just came on. Lawale, he just came on. He's full of running. He's, I'm sure, full of energy. EMEKA ATULOMA controls very well. Victor Ezurike and Emmanuel Olowo, between them, they've made that defense line of Dolphins impregnable. Well, it did look like a handball, but obviously was not. That it's a foul play there. It's going to be a free kick to Dolphins. Lawale upended there, brought down rather brutally, you might say. Another look at that to convince you. Well, that was completely unacceptable, but offside, and the count continues to rise. Offside count. Edward, but the man caught in the trap there. Just under 20 minutes left here at the Liberation Stadium. It is Dolphins 2, Crown 0. And this is the Globe Premier League from your World of Champions. Dolphins inching forward again. Opoku. Not well executed there. And the Crown take over once again. Chidi Okolie, he did give that superb pass from which the first goal came, but overall he's not had a fantastic game today. Flag stays down, the ball has crossed the line, and he wasn't quick enough to stop that ball. And once again it was Edward that couldn't get to that ball very quickly. He seems to have all sorts of problems when it is needed that he run very quickly to catch up with the ball. He's not been able to quite do that since the start of this game today, except for that one that resulted in a goal. If he places just before him, within reach, then the opponent could well be in serious trouble.
And it's 72 minutes. We've seen Dolphins 2, Crown 0. In terms of possession, 57-43 in favor of Dolphins, but that's down from that massive 62-38 in the first half. Just tells you that Crown, of course, have stepped it up a little bit, but not to any telling effect. Just massive, Olowo.
And the man that's keeping him company there in yellow shirt is just about the same height with him, Jacob Orji, if not taller, is another big man also. And I think he has picked out Olowo as a steady companion for the rest of this game.
Maybe not a very good companion you want to have on a day like this. Because I can't remember Jacob Orji touching this ball in any threatening position since the game began. So a surprise is still out there. And another surprise is the fact that Ogumodede has elected to keep the team's top scorer from last season, Bode Daniel, on the bench. That was the man who knocked in 9 goals last season as Crown made promotion from the lower division.
Zikier was able to turn on his man. Dolphins still looking for that third goal. That was just about wrap it all up for them today. A great pass coming through, and it's Okolie. Okolie decides to pass the ball centrally, and Isiako Lawale just nudged the ball forward. The flag stays down. Okolie, he's been able to give those passes. He gives one more pass like that, but that one smothered. Just enough of the sting taken out of it for goalkeeper Michael Weru to clutch it. Watching those passes crisscross the periphery and the inside of the Crown penalty area, you started to think maybe these players they're just walking around in circles. Their brain is spinning because there are just so many passes, and unfortunately it did end with a third goal for Dolphins.
second goal scorer, Fanny Gwim on the bench there. You can see with the plaster on his nose, on the bridge of his nose actually. He had to scrape his face along the turf when he was upended by Michael Uweru, who was lucky to still be on the pitch, or rather, still lucky to still be on the pitch. Should have been sent off if that hadn't finished in the back of the net. And talk about holidays. This is the holiday season, and I think Sunday Rotimi is enjoying his to the fullest.
Yeah, it would appear that what little fight Crown came back into the second half with may have just dissipated because from that second goal they seem to have given up. And it's Dolphins once again on the front foot now. Edward, he wants his brace. He's very much involved in the thick of action here. Isiako Lawale content to just keep distributing the ball, getting the passes around. Dolphins up by 2-0, and Crown coming forward. They want to reduce the deficit, and very great defending, solid tackle there. And well, you can't say it often enough that those two men are really something to behold. Begins to remind you of the kind of defensive structure that the Enyimba had last season, where they were just in a class of their own as the league progressed right up to the end of the season. Well, he did say something about Oji not having touched the ball. He did that time. And Jacob Oji did touch the ball. To what effect, I'm not too sure.
The man who got the last touch before Oji there, Francis Nnedu, a former player of Warri Wolves. And you ask yourself, what makes a player leave Warri Wolves and join Crown?
Well, perhaps the same thing that makes some players leave the English Premier League and go to play with Al Ain in Qatar, for instance. No disrespect meant, but sometimes money could be the name of the game for some of the players.
Or maybe he just wanted a starting bet because Nedum really, with the entrance of some heavyweights earlier this season, really found a permanent place on the substitutes bench. Let's see, starting.
That happens a lot, especially during the transfer season. You see some incredible moves by players from one club to another in sometimes quite surprising moves. There are a lot of factors could account for that, but Tijani Ahmed, Isiako Lawale is all Dolphins now. Stepping up there, and it's Okolie. There he wins the ball back. Chidi Okolie. Well, he really has been involved in the play today. If he made one or two mistakes at the beginning, I think he has more than made up for that. That was completely wasted by Chuzoba Mefula. I wonder what he meant. I wonder what he was thinking. I wonder what he intended to achieve from that. But that was really wasteful. Third and final substitution for Crown of Ogbomosho. And coming on there is Wahid Bello, taking the place of Jacob Oji, the man we were just talking about. Kelechi, your man has been relieved of his duties for now.
He should have been relieved of his duties in the first half. I think, I mean, there was no reason why he should have started in the second half, but you know how these things go. When you're severely limited in certain areas, well, certain players get to spend longer times than they should. And the entrance of Wahid Bello means that Bode Daniel will not play any part in this game. And really, if you ask me, that's surprising.
That's surprising. And perhaps it's some